Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Maggie, and today we're going to be closing out the 2024 goals I set for myself. So in 2024, I set 20 goals. I'm doing a similar kind of version for 2025. I'm doing 25 goals though. So if you want to see that, I can link my goal video intro where I talk through all of that. But today we're going to look back to last year and I'm going to talk about what I achieved. So I have 20 goals. I have a visual that I'm going to be putting up here-ish, just like a little chart to kind of keep things, fun, exciting. So let's go ahead and dive in. The first goal was to spend 500 hours outside. This was based upon the 1,000 hours outside challenge that a lot of homeschooling parents tend to do. And I reduced it to 500 because that seemed to fit my lifestyle a little bit better. But the whole goal was just to spend more time outside. I did not hit 500 hours. I had 277 hours and 30 minutes. So that's not bad. I definitely spent more time outside in 2024 than I probably did in previous years. Life happens, things come up where there were just times where I really couldn't spend a lot of time outside, but it has made me appreciate the different seasons and the different outdoor activities. So for me, it was still a positive, even though I didn't hit that 500. I am trying again for 2025, so we'll see what we can do there. Goal number 2 was to have 4 unique experiences. This was just really to kind of get me to say yes and do different types of activities that I maybe normally wouldn't. And I did achieve that. I did a submarine tour, which was really freaking cool. My husband and I went to an ancient baths type spa. That was cool. I did a ring making class and we went to a luau when we were in Hawaii for our honeymoon. So all unique experiences. We finished that one early on. I'm sure I had more, but once I hit 4, I kind of stopped tracking it, at least in my planner. Number 3 was to read 2 books. I read 1.5 books, so I didn't quite get to that second one. I am not a natural reader. It is really challenging for me to just sit down and read, but I'm really happy I read 1 book, so that was great. It was The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. I really like the author. I have a couple other books from the same author that I'm looking forward to reading this year. I just need to find time, make time in my day to read a chapter a day or something like that. Number 4 was to watercolor 30 pages. I didn't even start this challenge. I still have all of the supplies. I never pulled them out and did it. So maybe next year. I didn't make that an official goal for this year, 2025, but it is something, I still have all the supplies for. I bought it during the pandemic when we were locked down. So I have everything. I just haven't touched it in a couple of years. But number 5, 10 game nights, completely surpassed this. My husband and I are Scrabble lovers. We play Scrabble all the time. It is a great activity for us to kind of, pass some time without screens and use our brains. So we really like that. So after 10, I kind of stopped counting, but we definitely did more than 10. So that is at 100%. Moving on, goal number 6 was to travel outside of my home state of Minnesota 6 times. And I did in fact do that. So I went to Oregon, New York, Ohio, Hawaii. I went to Oregon again. And then I went to Florida. So I'm really excited that I was able to go to so many different states. Some of them were, actually half of them, 3 of them were for work trips. 3 of them were for fun, but that was a fun goal. We did have other travel plans that, ended up getting canceled because of some health things, but I still managed to get out of the state 6 times. So that was pretty cool. Number 7 was one of my favorites, and that was to try 3 new foods. So I tried vanilla honey butter. OMG, so freaking good. I could eat a whole jar of it. I also tried real gelato. I had never had gelato before. And that was pretty good. I'm not a huge ice cream, frozen. I have sensitive teeth, so I don't love a lot of frozen things, but it was really good. And then also roasted chickpeas. I've never had roasted chickpeas or garbanzo beans, same thing. And I tried making them in an air fryer. They weren't as good as the ones that I bought at the store, but they were still pretty good. And again, after I marked 3, I kind of stopped keeping track, but I'm sure I did try more than that. And I'm bringing that goal with me into 2025. Number 8 was to have 6 self-care appointments. My husband and I got married in 2024, so quite a few of these were leading up to the wedding. So I had Marked here 2 massages, hair appointment, a facial, a mani-pedi, and then at the second half of the year, I started to get gel manicures with my best friend. I've definitely gone to the nail salon more than that, but again, after 6, I just kind of stopped writing them down. So that was nice. I do have some savings challenges that I do to fund the ability to have self-care appointments. For me, it's something that just makes me feel refreshed, and it makes me feel like, I don't know, it makes me feel recharged because somebody else is taking care of me for that time, and that feels really good. So I really enjoyed that goal. Number 9 was to complete 100 workouts, and that could be as simple as, going for a walk. It could be a strength training. There wasn't really any sort of rule around what a workout meant or didn't mean, and I did surpass that. I did 103 last year, so over 100. That is a goal I'm bringing into the new year as well, because I think moving our bodies is really important, just to keep the blood flowing, Number 10 was to have a physical with my primary care doctor. Here's the thing, I had it scheduled in January, and then I had to cancel it because I had a last minute work trip that I had to go on, and it was a non-negotiable. I had to go on this work trip. And then I went to reschedule, and the person that I was seeing has left. They've moved, and I just haven't really found or even tried to find new primary care. So that's on my list of things I need to do this year. I turned 30 at the end of the year, so I do think, going to the doctor once a year and just getting, your blood panel run and just making sure you're aware of what's going on, and if there's anything that can be caught or prevented early on is probably important to do at this stage of my life. So I've got to get on that. Did not achieve that last year. Number 11 was to keep a consistent skincare routine. Consistency to me meant 90% of the time. So I track my morning and my evening skincare separately in my habit tracking app. I can link the app down below if you're interested. But for morning, I had 92.5%. For evening, it was closer to 85%, but together we were at 90%. So happy with that. And then number 12 was to find a way to give back weekly. So that was 52 ways to give back. It could be as simple as rounding up the change at the grocery store, It could be putting something into our little free pantry in town. It could be donating clothes. It could be monetary donations, anything big or small counts. And I got 53 out of 52 last year. So I'm really proud of that. And it's something that now I look for opportunities to give back, again, even if it's just change, something positive to do. 13 was to donate blood. I'm going to count this as 50% because I went in November, and they do a finger prick first to make sure that your hemoglobin and everything is high enough. And I was just under, so I wasn't able to donate. And then the year flew by and I never got back to the donation site. So I went and tried. They turned me away. That counts for something, okay? But I didn't get a chance to completely donate my blood. So I'm going to give myself a 50% there. 14 was to work with 10 different customers. This is a work-related goal. I worked with 11 last year, which was fabulous. Some of those are carrying into this year. I do project-based work, so this does rotate throughout the year, but I like having some variety, so that was exciting. 15 was to have a debt-free wedding and honeymoon. This was super important to my husband and I, and we did achieve that. We paid for everything ourselves. I'm really, really proud of us for that. So we didn't go into any sort of credit card debt. We did use credit cards to get all the Marriott and Delta miles and points and all that. So we had our honeymoon pretty much subsidized from that, but we didn't leave with any credit card debt. We actually saved a little bit more than we needed. So that was really, really nice way to start our marriage. 16 was to save $4,500 for the wedding and honeymoon. That was the last piece I needed to save at the beginning of the year. I did that. 17, also wedding related, was to complete our prenup. We did that. 18 was to increase my 401k contributions. I also did that after we got married. Now that we are joint income, we have a little bit more flexibility for me to do that. So that was great. 19 was to max out my HSA, my health savings account. I also did that. And that was just pulled from my paycheck each time I got paid. So it was just happening kind of on its own. And then number 20 was to have rollover cash at the end of each month, and I did. So I'm really happy with that. I've made a lot of progress, and a lot of these are completed now. It's at the end of the year. Here I'll show a little pie chart of which ones are completed, which ones were still like in progress, and which ones were not started. But I'm really happy with how I did in 2024, and I'm excited to see how I do in 2025. So for 25, I will probably do a quarterly-ish update, just to kind of have a little bit of accountability and talk through what I'm doing, what I'm not doing, and if I need to recalibrate in my goals. I'm totally fine with switching things out if something's not working for me. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for all the love and support throughout the year if you've been following along, and I hope to see you around my channel a lot more in the new year. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.